Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today from Fox News, New York Times admits using misleading cover photo of emaciated Gaza child. Times accused of journalistic malpractice. Former editor blasts remarkable deception. Now, of course, if you have been a subscriber to the BuzWeaver channel for any length of time, you guys already know that the media is basically an extension of the Democrat Party as well as the establishment mouthpiece. So, of course, these types of stories generate emotion is not uncommon based on what we've seen in the past or over the years when it comes from the media, of course, to get a particular reaction. And, of course, this is a very heated issue here in the United States among at least the politically active. The New York Times was accused of journalistic malpractice on Tuesday after admitting an emaciated child displayed on the front page as evidence of famine in Gaza was actually suffering from a grim pre-existing condition unrelated to the conflict with Israel. The ordeal began Friday when a grim image of a malnourished infant was splashed across the Times front page with the sombering headline, "Young, Old, and Sick Starve to Death in Gaza. There is Nothing." And of course, it just goes on to talk about the additional exaggeration and sensationalizing of it. And here's the front of the New York Times, as you can see, before I show you some of the things that the protesters did. And then we see from various individuals here, from Brett Hume, Weak Tea, the Times made a glaring mistake and can't admit that without praising itself for bravery, sensitivity, and personal risk. Now, I would argue, as I mentioned yesterday when we were talking about Cindy Sweeney, you may remember the protest, the backlash there from all of that, because of, you don't typically see this type of behavior from moderates or libertarians, conservatives. Maybe some far right might come out and do this sort of level of exaggeration and sensationalizing and falling on swords type emotion, and if not near delusionment from them. But as far as like the way they behave is just disturbing. And what I wanted to mention yesterday was that the most terrifying thing for a Democrat or the Democrats or the left is for them to be accused of the very thing that they accused everyone else of. So this is how the world keeps the Democrats under control. This is how the Democrats appear as though they get along with the rest of the world, because the rest of the world will go after them, insult them, disparage them, criticize them, make them look bad, but most of all, make them look unpopular, and of course accuse them of the very things that they accuse everyone else of doing. So this is a terrifying thing for the left. And so when they make these types of mistakes, they have to look as though they're brave because, they wanted to be able to show exactly what their intent was, of course, because their intentions does not necessarily line up or match with facts as much as they get a reaction. The entire Gaza famine boy story was a lie. Now ask yourself, what else have they been lying about? Well, of course, if you understand all this here on the BuzWeaver channel, then you can go ahead and hit that like button to know that you acknowledge and understand the way the media operates, especially now in this very hyper-partisan type environment that we're in, especially now that they're going after Trump. And Trump is having so much success right now. We're hearing, of course, about the new surplus and as well as inflation. These sorts of things were never impacted by Trump's tariffs, and we're learning about the tariffs, of course, taking effect tomorrow, as of this recording is Thursday, and they're going to take effect on August the 1st. So it is interesting. One would think that after having to make so many corrections, thanks to Hamas sources, they would start acting more skeptical and change editorial direction, and yet they don't. They don't have to, ladies and gentlemen. All they have to do is just continue to make these knee-jerk reactions and get reactions and keep the base stirred up. And what I mean by keeping the base stirred up and agitated is, as we see here, how they went after the New York Times. Now, I can assure you that the left is terrified of this because they can't have their base turning on them. One of the bigger posts that I have on TikTok was one that I outlined where Mayor Bass and some of the officials there in California were going to pass a policy that would require that ICE remove their mask. And people are still talking about that topic almost 3 weeks from when all that happened. I think it was roughly around 3 weeks. And, of course, the whole reasoning behind it is to keep the base from attacking them, because the Democrats don't want their base to turn on them. They need these constituents. They need their votes. They need their support. And so this is how this is all leveraged. And so the Democrats know they operate from a position of popularity and of influence, and if they lose it, then things become a major problem for them, as we see here with the New York Times. But I wanted to point this out because everyone here on the BuzWeaver channel is shrewd, understanding, and you have known all this time as we have covered it because we talk about it. And there's so much validation here of so much news that we have covered in the last few months since Donald Trump has taken office. So much is being exposed. So much is being revealed, you know, whether it's when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard and what was happening with the Obama administration and, of course, what Hillary did. It's extraordinary what we're all learning. So, again, you know, make sure you hit that like button because you understand, because you have been a part of the BuzWeaver channel all this time, so you know exactly what's going on. But this story is not particularly unusual for anyone here on the BuzWeaver channel who knows, who's been a part of the channel all this time, that this is the way the left operate, this is the way the media operates, this is the way they work in a coordinated effort with the establishment uniparty. But I do want to thank all you guys across New Tech, that's BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, for your guys' continued support. It has been amazing. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to include Amazon. So if you order frequently from Amazon or a Prime member, you can use that link safely, my landing page link, as well as if you're looking for a virtual private network. A VPN, Trust Zone is my favorite. It gets you straight to what you want to do, and you get things done. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so very much for your continued support. Appearing there on the screen, that'd be the channel icon here for all of you watching on YouTube. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys tomorrow in the Friday vlog.